Okay. So today is the class 1. Now this class, if you see the course structure, the today's class is the review of combinational circuit. Okay. So review of so basically I'll be discussing about the necessity of knowing the digital circuit and what are the important aspects that you need to know. It is not my duty to explain or something revise entire digital circuit. Already it has been taught. So today's class is about review of conventional circuit. Why it is important to this particular course, that I will explain. Now, as of you know that the basically the logic circuit, what you actually generate using the digital circuit is of I mean voltage range is from 0 to 5 volt. Okay. So 0 logic is called low logic, 0 volt is called completely low logic. Okay. And 5 volt is a high logic, which is sometimes says 0 and here it is says at 1. So in the digital domain we say it's a 0 and 1, and here in the analog domain it's basically 0 to 5 volt. Okay. There are some basic gates, there are some universal gate. They basically do, I mean the application is we have to give some biasing. Maybe if you ground it, so it will be 0 volt. If you give some biasing voltage, so it should be plus VCC, it will be around 5 volt. Okay. And corresponding logic level we say it's either 0 or 1. Now here if you see it carefully, that the gate circuit, basically the gate circuit in digital. So if I ask you that, okay, now let us say that I have a function, y is a function, and basically I want that function should be like this. Y is something, is a not gate of a function a, that actually I want. So the answer is quite clear that what you have to do, you have to use, let us say a is the input, and that input should be connected with a simple not gate, and that output will be a bar. So this is your input is a, so I can say this is y equal to a bar. Now this symbol is just a symbol, okay, but in practical sense it do not mean anything. Okay, it is just a representation symbol. If you see the real circuit, it is not like that. I'm drawing it for your understanding purpose. So in the circuital domain, if I have to implement this, let us say this is my task, y equal to a bar, I have to implement it. Basically you say that, okay, I can get a not gate, okay, and this is your not gate, and there I can able to generate this a bar function using this not gate. But practical point of view, this symbol do not mean anything. It has a circuital model. Now circuital model means what? Basically it can be of either RTL logic, RTL, okay, it's called register transistor logic. My voice is clear to you? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
it's
sir.
loud and clear.
Okay, register transistor logic, this is one way of I mean generating this not gate. Or I can use diode transistor logic, DTL, it's called diode transistor logic, transistor logic. Or we can generate using transistor logic, TTL logic. Okay, it's called transistor logic. Okay, out of which I will not discuss about that. Let us say it is a resistive transistor logic. If you use, you have basically larger power dissipation and operating speed is lower. People have already tested. If you compare it with diode transistor logic and transistor logic, out of these three options to generate basically a circuital model, the transistor logic circuit or TTL logic circuit is universally used. Okay, it means what? All the chip which you get from the market to build this NOT gate is actually made of this transistor logic. Why it is so? Because the propagation delay is less and power dissipation is less and the speed, okay, is faster compared to the resistor transistor logic and DTL. Now, the meaning is that, let us say, to understand that what is that NOT gate in a circuital model, if you use, for a simplicity of understanding, let us say I am using RTL logic, and then I am drawing a circuit, and you please understand, let us say I have a biasing circuit, I am giving a resistance, and I am having NPN transistor, okay, and there is a load resistance, let us say this is your RC, and here is the biasing voltage plus VCC, and you have to give some signal, let us say A is the signal here, okay. So this signal what you are giving here, it is basically here is A, okay, and that signal is basically 0 to 5 volt, okay. So this is 0 and this is 5 volt. 0 means low and 5 volt means high, okay. 0 corresponds to 0 and 5 corresponds to 1. Now you analyze the circuit here and your output will be coming from this. This is your Y. You see, when you give a 5 volt, okay, that means when it is 1, I can consider, that means I basically give a biasing voltage in the base junction. So there will be a base current IB, and that base current will turn on the transistor Q1. Okay, let us say this is Q1. So therefore, if it is actually on, and already you know the transistor either works in 3 region, either it is an active region, okay, or it is an cutoff region, or it is a saturation region. Therefore, when we use in a digital circuit, basically we use either cutoff and saturation. Okay. If you give 0 voltage, that means there is no base current. So basically transistor operate in cutoff region. Okay. And that means the transistor is not operating. So enter voltage, if you apply a 5 volt here, so enter, because no current is coming, so current is 0. So IC into RC is basically 0. So therefore I can say that Y is equal to 5 volt. Okay. Now, if you have given the 5 volt in the base, and there is a base current coming, and that base current is sufficient to make the transistor operating in a saturation region, and I can say it is fully turned on. And in that condition, this is your collector and this is your emitter. So VCE, this voltage, will be approximately 0.1 to 0.2 volt. And in that case, if I ask you what is the voltage across the Y, so in that context, the output voltage, which is Y, will be around 0.1 to 0.2, which is approximately, I can say it's a 0 volt. Okay. So what is the conclusion of the circuit? The conclusion is very simple, that if you give a 5 volt, or rather we can say it's 1 in a logic level, what is the output correspondingly? The output correspondence is equal to 0.1 to 0.2 volt in analog, okay, and which corresponds to 0 logic in the digital domain. So basically you are giving 1 here and output you are getting 0. If you apply 0 volt here, which is considered as 0 logic, the output Y you are getting is nothing but 5 volt, okay, and 5 volt is corresponds to 1 logic. So you can say that your principle of NOT gate, okay, what you expect, that if you give a 0 and it will be 1, if you give 1 it will be 0, in the logic level it actually performs the same, okay. So therefore this is the original circuit which is used internally as a NOT gate. That means this type of circuit is always there for whatever operation of logic operation you want to do, okay. So this you can consider to be a chip, okay. So this is a chip, and here is the input and here is the output. So basically it is an analog circuit. Now coming to the question, I mean coming to the point, is that what is the chip number of this kind of gate? What is the chip number? Do you know, anyone? It is 74. The chip number is, if you want to use, I mean this Y equal to A bar, let us say you need to practically design, the chip number you need to use is equal to 74 IC 74. What is the name? I forgot.
So
IC,
00.
no, 00 is for NAND gate. I can use 7404. Okay, I am writing here IC 7400. This is for actually NAND gate. Okay, NAND, NAND gate. If you want to use, let us say 7402, this is for actually NOR gate. And if it is 7404, this is for a NOT gate. What I just given for to make you understand. 7408, if it is 74, let us say 0408, what is that? It is actually AND gate. Okay, you remember this. Okay, AND gate. If you have to actually design the circuit, then you need to use all these practical chip, and then you can actually have this 0 to 1 conversion. That means this function conversion you can design your own thing. Then let us say 0.74, it is 32, it is for OR gate. And 7486, it is for XOR gate. Okay, now when you use, let us say for an example, I am using this 7404 because I have started with this example. 7404 I am using. 7404 is basically a 14-pin DIP package. It's like looks like this cheap, and we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and here 8 9 10 11 12 13 14, and the chip is starting from here. Okay, so whenever this type of notch is coming, so it starts from 1 here, and then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 and 14. Okay, let me change the color. Now here the 14 number pin is plus VCC. That means you need to give a plus 5 volt. Okay, so let us say 5 plus 5 volt, and the 7 number pin is basically grounded. And rest of the thing, like it is a NOT gate. Okay, so NOT gate means you need to have an input. So this is your 1 number pin is input, and 2 number pin is the output. Okay, let us say that I want to use as like this function, that y is equal to a bar that I want. So a should be input here, and output a bar you will get from this. Okay, so internally you can assume that we have actually a NOT gate internally present. Similarly 3 1 input, and from 4 it is output. Okay, 5 input and 6 is output. Okay, same thing is actually here. You can give your input and you can get output. You can give input and you can get this output. Sorry, this direction will be different. This is input and this is the output. So how many channel? Channel is this is your first channel, channel number 1. This is your channel 2. Okay, channel 3. This is channel 4, channel 5, and channel 6. So basically 6 channels are there. 6 channel. That means if you use this chip, you can have actually 6 number of NOT gate. 1 here, this is your 2, this is a third. Okay, like that. 6 channel means 6 NOT gate. Okay, based on your requirement you can use a circuit. Now try to understand that. Let us say you are you are an embedded engineer, and then you have been asked to design y equal to a bar, a simple thing. So what you will do, you will take this chip, okay, and give proper biasing, which is plus 5 volt here, let us say, and you will give the input here, and let us say 0.7404 chip you are using, and this is the output. So this circuit you will provide to the customer, okay, and he is happy that okay you have given, and then it will definitely solve the purpose. Okay, but if you see fundamentally, if I add more, let us say I have a function of a bar plus b, okay, in a logic level, I need to generate a bar plus b. Then what you need to do, you see here a bar plus b, you need basically a NOT gate here. Another thing is that you need to or basically you need a OR gate, that is 7432. This chip is required. So you need a 7404, along with you need a 7432. Okay, this chip. So 2 chips are required to basically get from. So this output, if I draw the circuit properly, this is your input, let us say a, okay, and output is what? Output is a bar, which is coming from 7.04, and your biasing is plus 5 volt here. Similarly here also plus 5 volt you have already connected, and similar configuration here, 1 and 2 will be input, okay, and 1 and 2 is the input, and 3 is the output. Okay, so what you want, so you will give b input here at that particular pin. So this is your b, and a bar, which is the output from the first pin, you will connect to second, and then finally this is your final output, which is y is equal to A bar plus B. So you understand when you design this kind of circuit in a hardware based, okay, and you see the complexity. You have, if your function is simple A bar, only one chip. If your function is like just I have increased to A bar plus B, then actually you have increasing this, okay, your circuit becomes like this. Therefore, I mean, it has developed in back 1990 or 95, 1995. People have thought ki if I have larger number of function, basically a Boolean function, and from where the Boolean function will come, you already know that. Let us say I have a state machine. Let us say 0. We have 3 input, A, B, C, or maybe 4 input. So A, B, C, D, these are event, and finally we have one output. So you know that basically you need to generate or prepare a K-map, and from the K-map you will get the function Y. And after getting this function Y, you need to design this kind of circuit and provide it to the customer, okay, which is called, or which also said as a primitive embedded system. Primitive means earlier days in 1990 we generally use this kind of circuit, okay. After that, people thought that basically the circuit length and weight as well as space consumption is happening, and even if there is a fault, let us say these two chips are working here, and if you imagine that, let us say you are using also a number of other chips to design your output, okay, based on the requirement. If something goes wrong in one chip, it is very difficult to identify the problem where the things is, I mean, the problem happens. So therefore, to debug any problem or to reconfigure the circuit based on the new requirement is very difficult if you go to the primitive circuit which already you read, okay, in your basic course. So what is the solution? Solution is that already you can understand that these logics are basically transistor, okay. This logic what I can actually generate is actually from the transistor. So people have started to think that that okay, can I produce or can I go for a system where I have a lot of open-ended transistor, okay. Let us say I gave you 100 transistor I actually gave you, okay. You take this transistor and you design the circuit. Now this transistor or hot 100 I am saying, it is not 100 if you go for any practical FPGA chip. So this is called field programmable gate array, and this is basically a open-ended transistors will be given in the board. That means either I am for simplicity I am saying it is 100. Practically it is not 100. It is 10,000, okay, or maybe 1,000,000. So this type of transistor will be provided to you. So it's open-ended transistor. So you can take these switches as a transistor, okay. Lot of transistor are open-ended. You can use any one. It is there, and it has input, lot of input and lot of output, okay. Now the same problem what I have shown you, like A bar plus B, let us take this same example and try to understand that how FPGA actually works. So if you take this problem as a black box problem, that you know that you have A is the input and B is the input, and finally you want one output which is Y equal to A bar plus B, that function you want to generate, and definitely you need to go for a circuit design, okay. Circuit design in a sense, what in if you want to use the older technique, then you need to use this kind of circuit, digital circuit. But people are thinking about, okay, why not we go for other approach, like I have given a open-ended transistor, and if I can generate a compiler, if I can, okay, so that's the question, if I can generate a compiler, and compiler will design my circuit based on the requirement, okay. Based on the requirement means I have to write some code or hardware description language. So here I will write some HDL code, okay. That means what is my requirement I will write here, okay, what is the HDL code, and then this compiler will do, it will convert it to the machine language or bit file, and that bit file will it will dump to this particular chip, and chip will reconfigure, okay. Then automatically circuit will be designed. So A bar plus B, if I design the circuit, it's like this. Let us say this is your A bar, okay, and we have A bar plus B, that means this kind of gate. So this circuit what you are seeing here, and it is your based on your knowledge, you already know, because the function is quite simple, but in practical scenario the function may not be simple, it will be difficult. in that context you only have a knowledge of A and B, and internally you know for this example, so it is a NOT gate and is OR gate. If you do that, you can design it. Okay, that's for simplicity. Now if the compiler can do this task to design this circuit for you, okay, using this open-ended transistor, then it will be very helpful. Okay, because you need not to use 740 what I told you, different type of chip individually and then connect it accordingly. So this connection what I am giving is automatically basically transistor. So one transistor is there for NOT gate, and maybe OR gate I will help you. I will also draw what is the gate, that also let us say one transistor and another two transistors. So three transistor I am using here to generate this kind of function. So this compiler will do this, I mean this task for you. It will generate a circuit, and this circuit will automatically redrawn. Okay, let me take a different color, and let us think that it takes around this three transistor it will take, and after that it generates this circuit, and then the whole chip or whole thing, it will become like that. Okay, so it has a FPGA board, FPGA, it's a board, and you do not need to use any other chips. Okay, only one FPGA chip is required. Here you give AP input A and B, and this A and B is the input that you have to define here in HDL code. So HDL code, what you are writing here, that code you need to define. So AB is the input and Y is the output, and internally this circuit will be generated using these three chips. Let us say this is one transistor for NOT gate and other two transistor for this, and then after that there will be an output. So this circuit you do not have to think of. Okay, the compiler will automatically design that based on the what coding structure you are giving to the compiler, and it will do that. Now you think about the space requirement. So I am having a simple function, okay, and I generate this circuit, okay, that I can use successfully. It also give you the same output, but the space requirement and complexity is more, where I can do the same work using this FPGA, and the space requirement is quite less. And if I need to change or reconfigure it, let us say I do not want anymore A bar plus B, I do not want, I want now A bar plus B bar, that also I can design simply by editing this code, and automatically compiler will just modify, and then transistor logic or whatever the open-ended transistors are there, automatically redesign of circuit will automatically happen, and then we can get our desired output. Okay, but in case of this circuit, we have to once again use different chip, and you need to rewire the entire system, and then you can get this kind of circuit. Okay, so therefore this embedded system using this FPGA board is quite popular nowadays, and even you can see the 90% of industrial application all are FPGA based. You can also see that the same task I can do using DSP processor. Okay, but DSP processor is not like that. DSP processor it takes accumulator, or it has some arithmetic and logical operation, then it can give the task. Okay, it is not a hardware circuit, it is a software driven circuit based on the timer. So if you execute one code, let us say it is taking 10 millisecond time, let us say, okay, the same code if you write using DSP, it will take around 20 millisecond. So it is quite faster. FPGA is, you would say, 2 to 3 times faster than DSP board, because what you are doing, you are generating a hardware circuit. Okay, you are writing a code, okay, but finally you are generating a hardware circuit, and hardware circuit is already the fastest circuit in the world. Any function if you want to operate, if it is a hardware circuit, that is the fastest thing. If you want to do the same thing using software driven thing, then the performance, maybe you have to sacrifice in a bit, and the purpose will be same. I mean, you can design the same thing by using a DSP code or C code, you can write, and then you can generate the same thing, but execution speed and operating speed is much faster in case of FPGA. Okay, that's why this course is about how to write this HDL code and get this circuit done, and do your required thing. Okay, this is the essence of knowing this kind of knowledge. Now next is, let us say you have to have a basic knowledge about.
Excuse me sir, I have one question.
Yeah, tell me. Yes.
थोड़ा सा नीचे लीजिए. जैसे FPGA जैसे सर्किट है, आप बताएं कि कंपाइलर से सर वो सर्किट डिजाइन कर देगा, तो सर वो तो सर्किट एक हार्डवेयर कंपाइलर कैसे डिजाइन कर सकता है? मतलब हम लोग जैसे ऊपर में ट्रांजिस्टर को करते थे, तो वो मान लीजिए हम हाथ से या कोई भी रोबोटिक थिंग्स हम कर सकते हैं हार्डवेयर डिजाइन, बट एक
Yeah.
कंपाइलर होके वो हार्डवेयर कैसे डिजाइन कर सकता है?
यस, दैट इज द थिंग। ये यहाँ पे एक डोमेन है। सपोज ये तुम्हारा कॉम्पाइलर डोमेन है, ठीक है। नाउ दिस कॉम्पाइलर डोमेन इज कॉम्पाइल्ड और कनेक्टेड विथ Xilinx, एक कंपनी XILINX, ओके। Xilinx का काम यही है कि ये कॉम्पाइलर जो इंस्ट्रक्शन लेगा HDL कोड से, HDL कोड, एंड दिस इज नॉट सी कोड। HDL कोड में तुमको लिखना पड़ेगा what function you need to actually using or you are be interested in, either it's a OR gate, XOR gate, or timing event, whatever. You have to write it here, and that linking will be there in the compiler do like what I design in my hand. It is compiler task, okay, is to assign some. Let us say you have 100 transistor. Out of 100 transistor, how many transistor are required? Let us say 10 transistor is required to generate this function, okay. So automatically the compiler will take 10 transistor out of this 100, and it will configure the circuit diagram, okay. That is the beauty of this FPGA. You do not have to think about it, okay. This platform they have already designed using VHDL or sorry, VLSI technology. They have already done. Whenever you give the instruction to the compiler takes what are the, I mean, how many amount of transistor required, okay, to generate the function. Automatically it will take those transistor, and then it will automatically compile the circuit for you, okay. When we will write the code in Xilinx, I already told you, you download the software of Xilinx, you can see there also, okay. When I write the code in hardware description language, it, because the Xilinx also it has a compiler, okay. So compiler will show you what is the exact circuit and how many transistor you are using there, okay. And if you are satisfied, okay, this transistor circuit is actually good, then you can generate your bit file. Bit file means what? It's a binary file, and that binary file you can dump to the hardware or this particular board, and this board automatically it will generate the circuit. So when after burning process, after bit file generation and then burning process, it is simply like this. You have this hardware, let's say this is your FPGA, okay, and then this A and B, these are the input, and internally you can generate a NOT gate, and this is the output. So basically the code is converted to a simple circuit, and that circuit will giving the output. Now as far as your question is that how it can automatically generate the circuit for you. It is the task of the compiler, and this company Xilinx has already done this job beautifully. That's why it is so much popular in the industry. It can give you circuit instantly based on your code, and you can check the circuit when you are writing the code, okay. You check the circuit, okay, whether this circuit is good enough or whether it is correct or not, okay. Then you can go ahead with generating with the bit file. Even let us say, even they have done done much better for you. Let us say that they have generated a circuit, okay. Let us say this is the circuit, a AND gate, and there is a XOR gate, and then this side of circuit they have generated. Now how you understand whether this will work or not? Practically they has a simulation platform, okay. This software there is a simulation platform. In the simulation you arbitrarily change the input, okay, and you see whether corresponding output what you are getting, you are exactly correct or not. If you are happy, okay, now this is what I want, and this circuit is perfectly fine, then you can go ahead with the bit file generation. This is called synthesis, okay, and then you can dump to the hardware, okay. Am I clear to you?
yes sir, थैंक यू सर। सर
Okay.
एंड एक रिक्वेस्ट है सर, लास्ट में सर ये जो आप बना रहे हैं ये सर PDF बना के भेज दीजिएगा ना?
हाँ, sure. Each
यस
class
सर।
what I will, okay. Even when I will write the code in the software, I definitely I will send all the thing to the classroom, okay. There is no doubt.
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सर।
Sir, I have some additional doubts, sir.
Yes, no problem. You
Sir,
can.
so, sir, what we can say is that the FPGA board is does not directly creates the circuit, but it simulates the circuit which we code for.
Yeah, then it can simulate, it can generate both, okay. So simulation
So,
is a
sir,
new
so,
simulation.
sir,
Okay,
how the hardware is changed inside the board?
just a second, okay. So it has a two platform. One thing, let us say you are fully believing the I mean the Xilinx. So Xilinx is a software. Let me write Xilinx is a software platform, okay. Then software platform is connected with the hardware platform. It is a board. Let us say this is your FPGA, and it is a Spartan 6 board, okay. Spartan 6 board. So when you are writing your code in the Xilinx using HDL or VHDL or hardware description language, you have to select which type of board you are writing for. So you need to select first Spartan 6 board, okay. So here After selecting this partner 6 board, the new window will come. In that window you have to write the code, and then after that you have to compile. Compile means what? The code what you have written, whether this code is executable to this particular board or not, that Xilinx will check. After passing this checking procedure, it will generate two files. One directly bit file you can generate. Okay, let us say you are happy with whatever, you are confident that what code you have written is exactly fine. You can dump to the hardware, and that section I am discussing again. Okay, the bit file you can directly dump, and then you can give 5-volt input to the board and input to A or B something here, and you can get the output. Else you can check one simulating platform is also there. Before you dump the bit file to the hardware, you can test virtual, let us say there is a virtual board here also. That simulation you can give input and out to input physically. Physically in one means yeah, in the simulation platform, and then you can see that whether the code and the circuit what is generated, the circuit will perform or not. Then the next question what you have said, that okay, now how the things will be done inside the FPGA after you burn this bit file to the board. Let us assume that I have 4 transistors. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they are not connected even. Okay, they are just open-ended, transistor, and there is a plus 5-volt board supply is there, and there is input, one input, and let us say there is a other output. So this is your input, and this input output you have to configure. So when you write your HDL code, what is the port definition, what is the input, and what is the output, that you have to define first. Whenever you write this, the bit file will generate, it will assign some pin to be input and some pin to be output. Okay, that means your whatever input it will go, let us say A is the input and Y A bar should be the output. Let us say this is your Y. When you do that, when you generate the bit file and if you dump it, so bit file is basically a binary file, either 0 1 0 1, this kind of file it will internally generate. When you just dump it to this particular board, when you dump means what? When you flash it. When you flash it, this flashing is different, like microcontroller flashing is different. It will store in the RAM. Here there is nothing. Okay, it's just a circuit. So then this bit code, this is the kernel of FPGA. So that is the company which they have developed. They will not share to the open-ended platform or any of the developer. This kernel code they will not provide. So what this 001, that code, it will, when you do it, dump it to the hardware, what it does, it identifies that what circuit it will have to generate. Let us say for that particular code we need 2 transistors, so automatically plus 5-volt will be connected with let us say to this 2 transistor, and then this corresponding output, maybe it will be connected like this to the output. So this connection internally from the plus 5-volt to the transistor, and from these transistor to the output, it will be done after you burn this bit file to the FPGA to this Spartan 6. And how it has been done, there is one layer, it's called kernel layer. This kernel layer does this thing. Okay, and that is the property of Xilinx company. Okay, they will not reveal because they have developed it. Okay, so as far as our developer, if you say you are a code developer, as far as our concern is that how this code, we can check in a simulation platform whether it will be perfectly working or not, because you can see the what kind of circuit it is expected that bit file will generate inside this board. You can see here, and then the performance, if it is okay, then you can generate bit file, and then this circuit will automatically designed by this particular, after this burning process. Okay, so I hope I have answered. Any more doubt you have having in that?
No, sir.
Okay, so the ultimate outcome, you think of ultimate outcome. So ultimate outcome is that you reduce the complexity. So what you achieve, you reduce the complexity of connecting lot of clumsy circuit. It is not required now. What you else achieve? Fast operation. Okay, FPGA board is very fast board. In microsecond range it can operate. So fast execution of the circuit, or fast execution of the you can assume that it's basically hardware. This is not a, it's basically a hardware. The chip is a part of the hardware. So it's the fastest, and then it is a less complex. I mean, only one chip you can imagine. And then third thing is that customizable or reconfigurable. Let us say that okay, I am not happy with this code anymore. Okay, I need to redesign. So can I use different FPGA? No, the same FPGA can be used. Okay, and there in plenty of output pin are there. Okay, so this in output, if you do not like to change, you want to generate another output in different pin, you can have, there is no problem. In that case, other transistor which is left, that transistor will be mapped and then the output will be executed. So you can see lot of input output operation you can do without actually changing the circuit or without actually modifying the other thing. Okay, so reconnection or this इसको बोलते हैं configurability, reconfigurability is perfectly done in case of FPGA board. Okay, so that is the beauty, and also the space. If you see, the chip size is very small. Okay, so in a small board you can do a lot of tasks. Okay, in a small board, only thing is that oscillator will be there. Okay, because definitely there is a clock frequency, so oscillator will be there, one power supply unit will be there, and then this chip will be there, FPGA Xilinx 6 Spartan 6 or Spartan 3 chip will be there, and out of that only input output pin. Okay, input output pin, lot of input output pin are there. And if you compare with the Arduino, then Arduino have a limited number of input output pin or PWM pin, but here you can see in a smaller board, out of 3000 or means 4000 price board, you can have 10 or even 20 40 amount, I mean number of pin input output is available. Okay, and the size is very small. Okay, so that means I can generate a high precision circuit or high precision I mean embedded system for an application. Okay, either it can be a robotic application, or it can be electric vehicle, or not electric vehicle properly, converter application, power converter, battery charger, whatever circuit. So you think that the controller is the heart of the circuit, so you can generate it, and then it will be just like your hardware circuit, without using any kind of TTL logic or any kind of chip. What I already told, it is not required. Okay, now another thing I know, just want to mention. Yeah.
So, sir, is this the FPGA is the industrial final product? Means, can we use this
Yeah, yeah,
design chip as an industrial chip?
yeah. It is an industrial chip, and it is definitely industrial chip. If you see the product, what the industrial people are designing inside a car, or you can see everywhere, the FPGA board is used for an embedded system. It's not. It's like that. Let us say I have a converter which convert. Let us say, for an example. Okay, I'm saying it. So I have LED. This is your LED board. Okay, lot of LEDs are there, and this LED requires a controller. Okay, or driver. There is a power circuit, so maybe inductor, capacitor, some power circuit is there, and there is controller. Okay, and that controller is FPGA board. Okay, and that board is inbuilt or coupled with this circuit, and this is your final product. Okay, so this is called LED driver. Some company make will be written here. Okay, and you can connect to your LED system, and that will glow. So basically it has a power circuit, and there is a controller circuit. The controller circuit is actually designed by FPGA board. Okay, because what? Because there is a less chance of failure, because you do not have a failure, because it's basically a circuit. You have inductor, capacitor, some circuit is there. Along with, you imagine there is another circuit which is a control circuit. Okay, without using any kind of NOT gate, AND gate, or all of that. It's just an embedded board, and that board will give you the required firing pulses or something like that, whatever the function is required, and then this will be connected to your system. Okay, this is a typical example, LED driver. Maybe there are examples like motor drive, your steel industry, what is the rolling steel industry, even in the electric vehicle, that the driving of the wheels, and controlling the speed of that motor is actually require a controller. So here also FPGA boards are used. If you plug out from existing electric vehicle or other embedded system, and you can find there are two layer, one layer for power board, okay, power circuit, and in the bottom layer you will find one controller circuit, and this controller circuit and power circuit is connected like this screw pin, or header pin, and this is basically an FPGA board. Okay, if it is a very low cost application, either you can use Arduino, there is no problem, but if it is high precision and high control is required, reliability is required, then Arduino is no more required, then you have to go for FPGA board. Okay, so this is it. So it is a industrial product, because it is also developed for the industrial level also, because first where it is used for US Air Force. Okay, Air Force, because they are generating they are using one analog circuit earlier Falcon, I forgot, F-15 or something like that. So it's a huge power supply, or weight is more. Then US Navy and US Air Force think that, okay, how to reduce the weight, or maybe like your embedded system, so that entire system can be integrated in a single platform. So then this FPGA is developed. If you see the copyright and all, that is all USA. So they're generating, they're first basically developed in the US, and they have applied in US Navy and US Air Force, and after that slowly it comes to consumer market, like your refrigerator or compressor or AC. Slowly mobile industry, sorry, automobile industry, so like that. Okay, so is there any other question you are having in your mind? You can ask. Is it okay to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's start the what I intended to complete. So this is the about the NOT gate. Now next question is, okay, now if I have to ask you that, okay, NOT gate is fine, and you already know the different number of pin as well. So next is the OR gate. How to design OR gate? Okay, you need to know this knowledge. OR gate, or maybe AND gate, or maybe NAND gate. Okay, so how you can design? Let us say OR gate is required. Okay, so OR gate means this one. So how you can generate? Using transistor. Okay, so to do that, let me draw the circuit, and you need to know this thing. Okay, then you can appreciate. Okay, yeah, so this is your base circuit, and this is the emitter circuit. This is one transistor. Okay, right? Because it is a OR gate. OR gate means if it is 0 and this 1, so output will be 1. If it is 1, it is 0, output will be 1. If it is 1 1, then also 1. If it is 0 0, then it is will be 0. That means the load that what I have connected here, so I need not to connect in this. Maybe I need to change the color. Okay, so just here, and don't give a ground. This is your plus 5 volt, and let us connect another one. This is your B, this is a plus 5 volt, and this is another transistor. Let me connect with this, and then you just connect it, put a resistance, and then you consider that to be your output Y. Okay, and let us say this is A and this is B. If you do that, you can see that when okay, so I have to also change. Let me just understand this. Let us say if it is high, high means 1. 1 means basically 5 volt. So that means there is a base current. So whenever there is a base current, so this transistor is actually operating. Okay, operating means there is a current flow. So whenever there is a current flow, okay, you can understand that the cutoff voltage, which is this cutoff voltage VCE, which is around 0.1 or 0.2 volt. So Y will be coming as 0.2, either it is 0 volt. So which is against the law. That means anyone is high. Okay, anyone is high, output should be high, but output is what? Output is here 0. So I can say that, okay, it is like your A plus B. I can give a bar. Okay, A plus B bar. That means what is that? That gate I can generate, right? If I use this kind of circuit, I can generate this gate. Let me investigate other one. So if you give in 1 here and 0 here, so that will not operate, but this will operate. So definitely output will be once again 0. If you do not give anything, let us say you do not give, it is also 0 and it is also 0. That means there is no biasing. Okay, since there is no biasing, that means the output will remain what? What is the output? It will come. Okay, so it will. Can you answer that question? What will be the output? Let us say I have giving 0 here, here also I am giving 0. So what will be the output? So since there is no current, okay, no current, that means the 5 volt will appear here. So in that case it will be 1. Now you just change it, the circuit configuration. If you change, circuit configuration, if you change, if you put the resistance here upside, okay, and you connect two transistor like this, here one and here other. Okay, and let me take more space. If you do that, then you can think that okay, I have here A and here B, this two input, and I have definitely plus VCC here, and let me make it a ground. So this is transistor Q1 and this is transistor Q2. Now let us say that I am giving A, B, let us say 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, and I want to see what is the output. Let us say 0, 0. So if it is 0 and it is also 0, okay, that means it is off, all are off. Off means what will be the output? So this is the output pin, Y. So no current means Y output will be Y. Okay, and then if anyone is basically, let us say high, 1 is this high, so that means this is the voltage what will get, it is 0. Okay, that thing you can generate. Again, if you just change the circuit diagram, okay, let us say that I connect, and you need to understand, okay, so why they are important and how this configuration matters a lot. Again, two other transistor you have connected like this. Okay, so this is your Q1 and let us say this is Q2, and you are giving plus 5 volt here, and A here and B here, and output will be output is coming from, this is Y. If you analyze, you can understand, and let me just complete the diagram. There is a ground, okay, this one is ground. So first of all A, B, okay, 0, 0, then 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, and let us say Y. If you have given A as 0, 0 means what? No biasing. No biasing means it is off. So since it is off, that definitely, if you, even if you give 1, that doesn't matter. Okay, so output will definitely will get, because no current, so output will be just 5 volts. So 1. When A is 0, okay, and B is 1, so again it is 1, because definitely if it is off, definitely it will not, there is no point. Again, you know, this is working, maybe this is working, this is not working, that means again there is no current flow, okay, because it is not going to the ground, so therefore once again it is 1. Now if both are 1, 1 and 1, then at that point of time the current can flow, okay, and then I can say it is 0. So you can see 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, and 1, 0, 1, and then 1, 1, 0. Which type of gate it is? Like this. So 0, 0, ultimately 1. 0, 1, 1. 1, 0, 1. If you give 1, 1, then it will be 0. Okay, so it's basically an AND gate. So similarly, I request you all, you can try to design your XOR gate, okay, using transistor, or maybe what, XNOR gate. Okay, you try. Okay, otherwise I will help you. So basically, today is the brief of how these gate circuits are there and what is the importance of FPGA, and basic combinational circuit review. That also, you know, it is because of the time limit I cannot finish. You have to brush it up, like what is a summer circuit, what is a subtractor circuit, why there is a need of carry look ahead adder, okay, then multiplexer, demultiplexer, encoder, and flip-flop, counter. This part you need to just brush it up, because you see, when I will write the same thing in the in the VHDL, then there is a need of this background knowledge. Okay, if I say that, let us say that, okay, I have a 2-bit summer, I need to generate a 2-bit summer. So what is the sum? Sum is basically A XOR B. That thing you should know. And what is the carry portion? Carry portion is equal to AB. This function you should know. Okay, otherwise what you have to do, otherwise again you have to go for this KMF, and from the KMF you can generate the function, so that will take time. So therefore, if you know, you know, before writing the code, okay, that should be the instruction, definitely you can write. Okay, and similarly, let us say that, okay, I have a 3-bit adder. So for 3-bit adder, it is quite easy. So it is like A XOR B XOR C, and if it is the carry I have to generate, then AB plus BC plus CA. Okay, similar thing you can do for you know, half subtractor. So it is like okay, so A bar B is the your carry, and A's or B's once again your the subtractor. That also you can borrow. You can say this is your borrow and this is your this output. Okay, so these things I request you because you have time, so you can brush it up. Okay, and once again when I will just the in a module 2 when I will start writing code for different logic gate, not logical combinational circuit using this, or maybe the sequential circuit using flip flop, then the knowledge of this thing is required. If you forget, then I will have to just explain for 5-10 minutes, and then I can go for writing the code. So therefore I request you, you already have gone through this digital course. There is no point to teach this thing again, like what is the encoder, decoder, multiplexer, demultiplexer, but you should know the essence. Okay, what is the main objective of that these things, and then we can write the code and we can do the analysis. Next task, next class I will be discussing about the different architecture of your FPGA, microcontroller, memory element, because these things are required. If you do not know, then you cannot appreciate FPGA. So this thing I will discuss, what is the difference, entire architectural point of view I will discuss. Okay, so because of the time limit, I cannot complete all the combinational circuit. I just give this task to you. Okay, you just revise, because already you have completed the course. Just you revise the main portion. Okay, if I ask you, okay, you generated let us say that a b bar plus ba using multiplexer. If I ask you, you should be able to design that. Okay, you should be able to do that. And then you should know that what is the output of multiplexer, that you should know. So otherwise it will be difficult. Okay, then once again, otherwise you have to go back to your digital concept. So you brush it up. It is up to you. You have already the textbooks, already you have given the exams also, but for the time being, what for this course, don't remember, you try to understand that what is the philosophy behind designing any encoder or decoder or something like that. Okay, and other thing, the text which is required, I will definitely share in the classroom. If you have any question, you can ask me. From next class or tomorrow's class, it will be I will be discussing about the architectural point of view. I'll be not wasting time on this combinational circuit, because otherwise it will be a repetition. Okay, that is your job. You just check it. I have not completed the high, propagation delay, the power dissipation, active high, active low, or the that thing I have not discussed. Maybe the time permits, then tomorrow I can discuss. Okay, along with this. If you have any question, you can ask me. If you have any question, you can ask me. Otherwise, I am stopping this here.